All right, welcome to another episode, Day in a Life. It's your boy Skelz.
It's your boy Bonnet Man Baje. This is Princess joining me for the night. What's going on?
Well, as I mentioned before in a few episodes, I'm an educator, graduate of Lincoln University, and I always love seeing other Lincoln alums doing it big. And you can't do it bigger than being a lawyer. So without further ado, our guest coming in right now, I'll let you introduce yourselves. Go ahead and say a few things.
Hi, I'm Andrea Carter. I graduated from Lincoln University in 2014. As my bros will probably want to tell you later, I was a member of the track team. I threw, shot put, javelin, discus. And currently I'm an attorney in Nassau County, New York, and I handle family law cases. So
Nice.
child support, custody, paternity, orders of protection, stuff of that type of nature. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
All right.
Nice.
So let's get everything started. I'm gonna go right into it. With everything going on right now with the virus and everything, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm actually okay. I actually just moved into my apartment in December, and then I took a trip to Asia. So like, I really didn't get accustomed to my apartment until like February-ish. So now I'm really like just here trying to get everything situated. But like, I was actually upset that I wasn't getting enough time in my apartment because I'm at work and the gym. And then God was like, oh, so you want a little time in your apartment? Let me quarantine you real quick. So, but I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm like, trying to stay in as much as possible.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So being with the whole quarantine that you just mentioned, how has your workload changed now that you are in quarantine? Are you working from home, or do you still have to go into the office for certain things? Like how is that? How is that changing your cases and stuff?
So basically, I work at the Legal Aid Society. So it's a public sector, meaning that I'm court appointed. So if you want an attorney, and for certain cases, you're appointed an attorney. So if you can't afford one for paternity, if you didn't pay your child support, you're appointed an attorney. And that's basically what I do. So we're in the public sector, which is different than the private sector. So for us, I'm working from home at this point. We're not going into court, and pretty much all of the court appearances are done either by phone or done by Zoom. And my workload pretty much has ceased at this point. I do have clients that are calling me. I have one client that's texting me because I gave her my phone number, which I shouldn't have done. But at this point, the courts are only really hearing emergency cases. So like the emergency cases would be like abuse and neglect cases. If there's a family offense that's filed against you and then you have to get out of your home, essentially you're deprived of your property, your home. So you have to get heard on that immediately. So cases like that are being heard, but it's very, very like bare bones right now in the courthouse. I was supposed to do cases on Tuesday if they needed me, and I didn't get any calls because there were no cases on the calendar. They're not trying to hear too much right now. So it's kind of quiet.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So with this, and you just mentioned you're not getting a lot of cases, are you concerned about keeping your job, etc.?
No. So essentially, my job, I'm under a 3-year contract, so I have to work for them for 3 years. We're still getting paid through this because we're still technically working. So I have cases where, since I do child custody cases, like right now, one of my cases, the children are no longer in New York, so parent kind of wants the children to come back here. So I'm still dealing with stuff like that. However, it's like on the outskirts right now. It's not a main concern of the court. So I'm still working on those types of cases. I'm not really concerned about any of like my caseloads dropping or anything, because as soon as this opens up, like people aren't paying their child support right now. People are fighting right now. People are realizing like, you know what, I kind of want custody of my kids right now. So as soon as everything opens back up, I'm pretty sure family court is going to start booming. So there's never a lack of anything in family court. It's always a crazy day.
So obviously, and I hope that eventually on this channel, you can get a couple to come and speak about their life now being in quarantine together. But now that we have couples being forced to like stay together, are your clients like, are you getting a lot of like clients where it's like they're getting more and more aggy with each other, or they're getting less and less aggy with each other now? Or you know?
So my clients typically aren't together because they're in family.
Okay.
That's the unfortunate side of family court. We get couples at their worst, where now you want your child's father on child support, or now you want custody of your daughter because the mother isn't allowing you to have parenting time. But I do see a pattern of kind of parents not letting the children speak to the other parent. So I want to see my child, or I don't want my child to have to go to see dad or to see mom at this point because of everything going on. So I see more of a pattern of that, or even so that the child's supposed to be with me, but the child is there. I want my child back type of a situation. But in regards to like couples, like that would be more of like a matrimonial thing, I would say. I don't really deal with that. That's a separate court.
Got it.
But in regards to like, I do see parents starting to kind of clash a little bit.
Got you. Interesting.
That's sucky. And being that you work with, and you mentioned you're not in there for that long, you're fairly new to it. Like, what's the most, not say most, but what's like the craziest encounter you've had in your short time with your firm? Like that one parent that's just like, you know what, he can't see his dad, or she can't see what's the craziest thing you've encountered?
Working in the public sector, you honestly see it all. You see obsessed girlfriends that like can repeatedly text their boyfriends, and like now the boyfriend's in court filing, and like one stack of papers was this thick, like literally this thick, and the court officer handed it to me and was like, okay, this is your case. And I looked at the judge, I was like, Judge, I'm not reading all of those text messages. Like, so I think that one was probably one of the ones that I was like, but then I also deal with paternity. So there's a paternity case where uncle might actually be father. So like we do get a chance to see crazy things. We definitely see crazy things. One thing that I think that really stands out in family law is the discrepancies between male and female, I guess, the way that the court rules. Because a lot of times, although we're saying that the system is just, I can't tell you many of my male clients that I know that a judge would give custody to. So that's the downside of everything. And sometimes you just have to be very blunt with your client. Like, this judge is very pro-mom, or this magistrate is very pro-mom. You're not paying your child support. This magistrate isn't going to give you a bunch of time to get your act together. But this one will, you know? And the main people that are on child support are men. So it's a very, like, the system, we say that it's like, okay, but then at the end of the day, I feel like men kind of suffer a little bit more under like the laws and regulations that we have. So I do see a lot of people, like, thankfully for me, not to toot my own horn, I'm a good enough attorney to where I kind of get my male clients out of the situation, especially in child support, because I don't like to see anybody go to jail over child support. Unless you're the person, and I had a client that owed so much money. It was like the most egregious case ever. And I'm just like, I can't do anything for you. But the people that actually do give effort, those are some of the harder cases for me. In the fact that, I mean, you see your kid. It's just that mom or dad are just very upset with you in the fact that your relationship isn't going the way that it's supposed to go.
Do you get to meet the kids or no?
Sometimes they bring them to court, but the children have their own attorneys.
Oh, okay.
So mom has an attorney, dad has an attorney, and then there's an attorney for the child.
At what age can a child speak for themselves?
They always speak for themselves. They're just represented by an attorney.
So can they decide, hey, I want to be with mommy, I want to be with daddy?
Yes, they can. So like they do assign attorneys for the children at like age 1, 2, 3, but then once they start to get to like 7, well, I shouldn't say that. So for paternity cases, essentially, they really start to play a role when the child is 3 or 4, because they'll show the child a picture and be like, who is this? And then if they're like, daddy, then you might not get a DNA test, you know? I can say that, yes, that like there's a rule and there's a law called equitable estoppel. And basically, if this child knows you as their father, then you can't ask for a DNA test, because it would be detrimental to the child to then learn like this person isn't your father. So I always advise my clients, like if it's a baby, I don't care if you've known this girl your entire life. And I apologize to mom. Like, and I usually tell them, put it on me. Like, tell them that your attorney is making you get a DNA test.
Right.
Because you don't want to be like, what did Kanye say? 18 years and on 18th birthday found out, and you've been paying all that child support. And child support is serious. It's very serious. People go to jail over child support. Right. So I think I'm straying away from the question. Like, yes, like they at age 3 and 4, like they do get a chance to speak up.
Okay.
And like custody cases are more like 6 and 7. Like they get a chance to say, like, you know, which parent do you want to speak?
Okay. That's dope.
Yeah, that's so. In closing, hopefully you keep a lot of males, you know, and try to balance it out a little bit, make it 50-50 and not 70-30. But thank you, Miss Carter, for coming out. We really appreciate you. Everyone has a story. You were here to share it. Anything you want to say?
No, just make sure you get that DNA test early, because I don't want to see people like paying child support for children that they find out later aren't theirs. And work it out. I really think that a lot of times you can work it out between mom and dad. Yeah, just talk it out. Forget whatever relationship issues you guys had, and remember that you have a child together. So that would be my main word of advice.
Thank you for coming out. Bonnet Man Baje, Skelz, Day in the Life.